I'm here with my good buddy John Thomas. He's the OBS Ford parts guy, and when I was looking for a couple extra parts with my crew cab long bed, I met up with this guy to get a hood, and then I actually ended up getting a bed and a couple other little extra parts, and we just kind of clicked, and he's always been my go-to guy to get Ford parts, specifically with the OBSs. Now sometimes he'll have a few other different things here and there, but I know I kind of like doing business with a private seller rather than kind of going to a pick and pull. Nothing against pick and pulls, but you know, I've been out there where say I get a door and I put the time in, got it up to the front, and now they charge me for the glass, the door handle, the door hinges, and I needed a door. And John's always been really good about that, fair on the pricing. And the other thing is, the man comes out here, he helps me pull parts. If you've ever been in a position where you get over a pick and pull and you forgot a tool or something, he's happy to lend a hand and lend his tool. So I wanted to come down, do a little kind of preview of what he's got. He changes his inventory often, so a lot of times, you know, what you see this week, it might change a little bit next week, and it might change a little bit the next week. So I always like coming down here to see what he's got new. And yeah, I think it's pretty good. And he's got a Ford Lightning bed. It's actually the same bed, it's just got a sticker that was a Lightning bed, but still cool to have. Small things like I was just talking about was like, he's got the hitch, you know, or the times I've been over to a pick and pull and it's the small things where it's like, oh, this thing actually has a nice dash pad, or it's got the nice visors. The visor thing, some of the visors are cloth, and I noticed this was with my truck, and I'll open this up and kind of show. Like this one's a cloth one, and it's actually in really good shape. But I could find these in vinyl, like these ones up here, and they might look a little dirty, but these vinyl ones, you can wipe them down and clean them up, and they're stain resistant. So I always try to get the vinyl ones for my OBS, and I think they're pretty cool. Same thing with these clusters. You notice some clusters don't have the tack, some do. He has clusters like here. That's a non-tack. I know he's got several out here that do have the tack, so if you want a little upgrade and a factory tack, he's got those too. And sometimes it's the little things, a ladder rack, some leaf springs. Maybe he's got like a really nice trailer hitch that happened to come on one of the vehicles, or a drive shaft. Sometimes it's all those extra little things that I like coming here and said, hey, yeah, I know a guy that's looking for a ladder rack. I know a guy that's looking for this, or a camper shell. So sometimes that's good too. And this is actually the truck that I had pulled, the 4x4 transmission that I'm doing in Dalton's truck, the two-wheel drive to four-wheel drive conversion. And still a lot of good parts on this truck. 4x4. It was a manual transmission. I got transmission out of it. But yeah, he's got a lot of this stuff. Yeah, it's funny because these bed liners, I actually like these style of bed liners. I know most people just throw these things away. I know John will sell them dirt cheap. I put one in my truck because I did a really good paint job on the bed, and I couldn't bring myself to do a spray-in liner. And of course, I still wanted to use the truck as a truck, so these drop-in liners do a really good job. So I like them. He's got a few around. Now, I remember the other day I had asked him about this trailer because it just looks like a really well-built trailer, real heavy-duty ramps. And, you know, we said we weren't going to talk too much about prices, but he did say he was going to sell this for $800. It doesn't have a title. It does need an axle. One of the axles is bent. But for that price, that's a pretty decent trailer to get your hands on. So it's here. Now this is one that he's been putting together, because one of the things I love about John is when he does this, he doesn't just necessarily part them out and say, hey, let's make the money in parts. He does have a love for these vehicles like I do too. And the cool thing is if he's got one that's a complete truck, he's going to sell it as a whole with a title, right, rather than just parting the thing out. And the cool thing about this truck is this is an inline 6, 300 inline 6, 4.9, 5-speed, manual 5-speed with the 4x4. And it's a short bed regular cab. Now me, I'm a long bed guy, but the majority of guys out there, they love the short bed. This is an ideal truck for what they're looking for. So I know he's going to have the front end put back together here shortly, and he'll have this up for sale. So somebody out there, this might be your dream truck. I know I love my inline 6s. Just, it's a good platform. So yeah. Now say you're just looking for a lift. He's got a frame right here with a pretty tall lift. I think this is at least a 6-inch TTB lift with the springs in the rear. So he's got some of that stuff too. And this is a running and driving F250. Now I don't know if this is a rare pink color, but it actually probably just faded red. But realistically, this is pretty clean. And one of the cool things is it's got a really nice bumper on it. These are the bumpers everybody wants. And besides the paint being faded, this is exactly what I would look for as a guy that does paint, because it hasn't been repainted, and I could do minimal body work on this because it's a really straight truck. I could do minimal body work and have this thing in and out in like 2 weeks looking beautiful. And yeah, this is definitely a nice one. And of course he's got a couple of brick noses. That's bound to happen if you're into OBSs too. And of course he's got this crew cab. Somebody's looking for a crew cab. The flatbed on this thing is really where it's at. That is a really nice heavy duty flatbed. And I think if you're all from the right money, he might let the Christmas lights go with it. So a lot of truck beds out here. If you're watching this and you're sitting up in Virginia and you're thinking about doing a little cut and fill and play with the sheet metal game, I can do the work, but at the same time, it's worth it to me to come down here, spend the money, get a different bed, and be done with it. And then you don't have that risk of the rust coming back because, you know, you missed a spot where you didn't treat. So it's pretty good. And we were just talking about these plastic bezels that go in there behind the grill. These plastic pieces on these OBSs, they hold everything on that front end. So if you've seen these trucks where, you know, it's a struggle to get the bezels to fit right, the grills to fit right, they do repop these. And I'm not sure what they cost, but I can tell you for a fact that the repop ones, they just don't fit like the factory ones. And now say you're in a dry climate area, that plastic gets real brittle. For some reason out here in North Carolina, we don't have that brittle plastic issue. And these factory ones, I think, are the way to go. And it's not only that, it's these little side, these little rubber moldings that go in here on that piece. So when you open the hood, you've got that rubber molding. It's the little things that can make your truck a little bit better, because sometimes those just get ripped off, the mechanic working on them, or whatever the case would be. So yeah, he's got these two, and yeah, they're here. He's got another crew cab long bed. And yeah, if you're into, like, say you're going to do a build or you want to do something, I know the crew cabs are hot. He's got two of them sitting here. They usually don't last long because a lot of guys want them. Or maybe you've got one that's completely gone through with rust. I know this one's pretty straight. It's not completely rust free per se, but we were just looking at this where he's got that spot here. But one of the things that I always check for is underneath here, all of that frame is perfectly solid and it's there. You've got a little spot here to come in, but other than that, it's a pretty solid dent-free cab. And of course, that's the other thing is the dents and the rust and the crew cabs. But he might have actually a couple back doors too that can go with this. But yeah, he'll sell them. I've seen several of these rims around here. He holds on to these for a specific reason, and rightfully so, because not very often do you see these half-ton 5-lug Alcoa style rims, and these were a factory option. And I know he holds on to these sets, and he does sell them. And if you're looking for that factory look with something a little extra, these are the rims that I like to run too. Yeah, I suppose it's another thing is, and I'm not trying to talk crap about picking poles, but I'd get online. They've got 3 in the lot. I get there and they're all pretty much skeletons. When I come down here, he's got clean door panels. I can call him ahead of time, see what he's got. He's got nice seats. He's got dash pads, XLT trims. He's got all the extra little things. You know, I'm really liking these door panels. I actually might have to buy these ones from him, but there's more. And it's kind of funny, I was thinking about these. I remember when I was building stuff real cheap on a high school budget, I would sawzall these off at a pick and pole and then weld them on my truck so I had these tips, you know. All the cheap ways to save a buck, but for some reason I remember that looking at these like, hey, you know, we could paint these up, but yeah. So me and John was talking and I was thinking, hey, we should let people know what the prices are while we're walking through, and then I thought about it, and I remember seeing a lot of YouTube videos where people start naming prices, and then everybody in the comments thinks it's way too much. And I've always found his prices very fair. I've never seen him ask something and go, no, this guy's way out of his mind. Everything's been very reasonable. If you see something in the video, send him a text. Don't call him immediately, because the way his phone's set up, it will not accept a call if it's an unknown number from him. So send him a text first. He's pretty quick about getting back to you and letting you know. I know he will ship some smaller parts, so if you're out of state and you're maybe looking for, you know, a set of visors or a little dash trim or a headlight bezel, maybe something small that can be shipped, I know he can do that for you too. I know in some cases he's taking a deposit, but that's on him. I expect it would be a good. I know in the past where, you know, a guy puts down a very small deposit on a truck bed, and then you don't hear from the guy for 6 months, and he could have sold that thing 7 times. So treat him right, and I think that'll be pretty good. So yeah.